Alright folks, welcome back to the Global Intel channel. Good to see people joining on here. I've been waiting to kind of expose this more as things get going, so thank you for your discretion. This channel, of course, is going to be a little bit more on the straight and narrow, just talking straight geopolitics and things like that. So I appreciate your candor and everything else. For those that have any kind of nefarious ideas of, exposing, this channel isn't going to do anything that's going to get me in trouble and not be tied. And if it, I'm prepared if it got out for the major channel. I've been kicking around tying this to it anyway, so this is inevitable. I just want to have things, in place. As, preparedness states, redundancy and backups and contingency plans are always just smart. So that is why we're going to start to slowly leak this out and do more and more and more. So thanks for letting me have a few days off. Not able to get to this one right now because of the way the situation is, but what I will more than likely be doing are videos as I drive home from my work, and then I can load them up and do that. So I will have a consistent flow of information and things to talk about here. So I want to talk what's going on with this Israel, Iran, and even a little bit on the SMO thing in Kursk. I guess I'll start there. Basically what has happened in Kursk is Zelensky, I think, is on his last legs, and he needed some kind of a win. And he saw that up in the region of Kursk, it was basically a wide open door. Are they going to take the entire country? Absolutely not. And honestly, as the New York Times has stated and everybody else, now they're starting to get it under control. It was more of a nuisance kind of thing. But I think they were just trying to send a message, and they say that they wanted to have something for the negotiating table, but it really kind of was counterintuitive to that. I mean, if they were going for a negotiation type of situation, then they would have just stopped and said, okay, let's do this. Let's talk about the Donetsk and Lugansk and Kherson and I think this is just the region and Crimea and all that. So what this now has done is basically blown up any kind of negotiation that they could have. And so even Putin came out today and said, now we're not even going to negotiate. So anybody saying that this is done for a negotiation, it actually is counterintuitive and goes completely and totally against a negotiation. It now makes it so there's more intervention, more conflict. There's a lot of accusations of NATO being behind a lot of this. So the goal, I think, more was to cause more conflict and more anger from the Russians. They've had to evacuate, as the official number says, 76,000 people. It's probably more than that. Currently, I have 28 little villages all along this area. These are not strategic or anything. They don't, really hold any power. Gets them a little closer to striking distance to some of the air bases and Moscow. They actually did a little bit of an attack the other day, but all of it was stopped, and this eventually will be shut down, only to make the Russians angrier and to make more conflict. And so if you really look at it from, 1,000-foot view, this was basically done to keep the conflict going because it was winding down. It really was. Z-Man was reading the writing on the wall, but now, he's trying to stay in power. So, moving on to Iran and Israel. Same thing, different style, different results. Netanyahu, there's people that are saying that he is in power now because of this conflict, and if it was not there, he really would have been ousted by now. his popularity is not as bad as they would like you to think. So, he's thriving off of this conflict. Okay, so there was supposedly going to be this negotiation for a ceasefire, and all the parties are coming to the table because everybody's tired of it. The war is costly. It's not good politically a lot of times. It does a lot of bad things. It also can create opportunity, but it's for a large part just negative. It's not the kind of thing that's going to do good things for you. So now, that has been blown out of the water. Hamas says they're not going to be there. It was supposed to be Thursday. I'm pretty sure Hezbollah, I haven't read it yet. I kind of whisked by it, but it looks like Hezbollah is the same thing. Everybody was hoping this new Iranian president, Pezeshkian, or whatever his name is, was going to try and negotiate all this because, he's new to leadership, and the IRGC was really mad, and they're wanting to do a response. But, of course, the civilians are more into a reformist kind of government, which, of course, Pezeshkian is supposedly, but really not. He's there in name only. Khomeini is the main guy, his ideas. So this whole Thursday ceasefire thing is blown out of the water. And now they're expecting a response, some people said within 24 hours. So what that looks like, I don't know. But will it happen? Will it not? They've been saying this for a long time, at least a couple weeks now, ever since the hit on Hanye and Shakur. So now we're just kind of waiting to see what the response will be, if there is one. There was hopes that there would not be one and they would be able to kind of skirt away from all this. But the IRGC and Khomeini are firmly in control, and so because of that, they will be doing something. Now, they've been trying, of course, to keep this veiled, and the other thing is that when Israel talks to America, then America leaks it to CNN and its media to try to stop all this, because they don't want any of this going on. A ceasefire really would have been good for the election of Kamala, but at this point, what they're doing is they're leaking information, which is undermining some stuff, undermining more of the military desires of the Israelis, because the administration in America wants a peace deal. They want a hostage deal. They want a ceasefire deal. But I really don't think there's that many hostages left. I really don't think that a ceasefire deal is going to do it. And if you really understand the objectives of the Israelis, it is for full dominance of that country now. They don't want a Gaza as it used to exist. They don't want a coexistence. They just want all these people out. They said, you know what, in their minds, this is what they're thinking. This is from what I've read. In their minds, they have basically done everything everybody in the international community told them to do to coexist, and these people that were living there struck out and did the October 7th thing. And, people died, and terrible things happened. And so the Israelis are just done, at least on the Netanyahu side. Now, the leftist, more liberal side in Israeli culture, in their society, they, of course, are hanging on to this hostage deal thingy, but it's probably not going to happen, because I don't think there's any there. And so now what we're going to be waiting for is a major response within, they're saying 24 to 48. It could be longer. They're trying not to telegraph it, but I think Israel is not going to be saying anything to the Americans. And to really put a problem, now because of all this, there's a lot of worry that the Israelis are actually going to preemptively strike, and they're not going to tell anyone about it. So we shall see, but that's the way it stands right now. It was looking good. I was actually quite hopeful yesterday on a ceasefire deal and everything. They're reporting the crap out of it. on major news channels, so it was looking like it might happen. It was honestly one of the best breaks of light possible because I want all this stuff to stop. But now it looks like it's actually going to get worse. So, all right, friends, we'll see you on the next one. Thanks. You know what to do with all the engagement and stuff, and tell your friends about it. I'll keep announcing this as we go. God bless.